Welcome to Daily English Room. Today's topic is social media. How often do you use social media, and which platforms do you prefer?
In the tourism industry, you have to stay active on social media. I post daily on Instagram and Facebook, sharing photos and stories from our adventure tours. YouTube is also important. We create videos showcasing our hiking trails and extreme sports activities. I'd say I spend about 2 to 3 hours daily managing our social media presence.
When did you start using social media?
I've been on social media since the early days of Facebook. We're talking 2007 or thereabouts. Having worked in tourism, I recognized its potential for reaching potential clients. Looking back, I was rather ahead of the curve, wasn't I? Mind you, my early posts were quite amateur compared to today's standards. I distinctly remember posting blurry photos of hiking trails, thinking they were absolutely brilliant. These days, not only do I use multiple platforms, but I've also had to become something of a content creator to promote my tours.
What kind of people do you like to be friends with on those social media websites?
In the tourism industry, it's beneficial to cast a wide net, wouldn't you agree? I particularly enjoy connecting with adventure enthusiasts and fellow tour guides from around the world. Not only do they provide valuable insights into different markets, but they also share stunning photos that inspire new tour ideas. That said, I'm also quite keen on following locals who know all the hidden gems in their areas. Were it not for these connections, I might never have discovered some of the most unique spots I now include in my tours.
Is there anything you don't like about social media?
In the tourism industry, social media has created some significant challenges. What particularly concerns me is the way certain locations have become overcrowded due to viral posts. You see, when a spot becomes popular on Instagram, it can quickly be overwhelmed by visitors seeking the perfect photo opportunity. Not only does this impact the local environment, but it also affects the experience for everyone, doesn't it? Having said that, what I find equally troubling is how social media often presents an unrealistic version of travel. Were people to have more realistic expectations, I believe they'd enjoy their travels more fully.
Do you think social media has more positive or negative effects on society?
In tourism, social media has been revolutionary. It's helped put many hidden gems on the map. But sometimes, this leads to over-tourism, with everyone trying to get the same photo for Instagram. I've seen beautiful, quiet spots become overcrowded because they went viral. That said, social media has also raised awareness about sustainable tourism and responsible travel, which is crucial.
How do you think social media will evolve in the next 5 years?
I predict social media will become more integrated with real-world experiences. In tourism, we might see platforms that can instantly connect travelers with local guides like myself, or apps that create personalized itineraries based on your social media interests. I also think there will be more emphasis on authentic, unfiltered content as people tire of overly curated feeds.
How has social media changed the way you communicate with people from different cultures?
In tourism, cultural understanding is crucial. Social media has helped me tailor my tour descriptions for different audiences. I've learned that what Americans find thrilling might be everyday for Europeans, or vice versa. I also use social media to learn about cultural etiquette from my potential clients' countries, which helps me provide better, more culturally sensitive experiences.
What's the most surprising opportunity you've gotten through social media?
A Twitter thread I wrote about responsible adventure tourism caught the attention of a major environmental organization. They invited me to consult on developing sustainable tourism guidelines for protected areas. What started as a simple share of my thoughts turned into a chance to impact tourism policies nationwide.
How do you manage your time on social media to stay productive?
During peak tourist season, I have to be very disciplined. I dedicate 1 hour in the morning to respond to social media inquiries and another hour in the evening to post content from the day's tours. I use templates for common responses to save time, and I have a content calendar for posting regularly without having to think about it too much during busy periods.
What advice would you give to someone just starting to use social media professionally?
Start by clearly defining your niche. In tourism, I focused specifically on adventure travel in Slovenia, which helped me stand out. Document everything, you never know what might interest your audience. Also, learn basic photography skills. In any visual industry, good photos make a huge difference. Finally, be responsive and engage with your audience. Social media should be social.
Have you ever taken a break from social media? How did it affect your personal and professional life?
During the off-season last winter, I took a month-long break to go hiking in New Zealand. Professionally, I was worried about losing booking opportunities, but I made sure to set up automated responses explaining my absence. The break actually gave me new perspectives on adventure tourism and inspired new tour ideas. It also reminded me why I love my job, when I'm not busy documenting everything for social media.
If you could change one thing about how social media works, what would it be and why?
Having been in the tourism industry for quite some time, I've noticed how social media has created unrealistic expectations. If I could change anything, it would be the way popular locations are portrayed. Rather than showing only the most photogenic spots, which often leads to overcrowding, wouldn't it be better to promote diverse experiences? By the time tourists arrive at a destination, they've often seen so many filtered photos that reality can't possibly live up to their expectations.
What impact do you think social media will have on future generations, particularly in your field of work?
Tourism has been revolutionized by social media, hasn't it? As far as future generations are concerned, I believe virtual reality tours will become increasingly common. The children of today, who are growing up with social media, will expect immersive, interactive experiences. That being said, I'm convinced that nothing will ever fully replace the thrill of real-world adventure, no matter how advanced technology becomes.
How has your approach to privacy on social media evolved over time?
I must admit, my attitude towards privacy has changed dramatically over the years. At first, I would post real-time updates about my tour groups without a second thought. Looking back, I realize how careless that was. Nowadays, not only do I seek permission before sharing photos of clients, but I also avoid disclosing specific locations of sensitive environmental sites. Had I known better, I would have been more cautious from the start.
At what age are children generally allowed to use social media in your country?
In Slovenia, much like the rest of the European Union, the GDPR has set the digital age of consent at 16. However, had this regulation been strictly enforced, I suspect we'd see far fewer teenagers on social media. The reality is that most children start using social platforms around 13 or 14. What's particularly interesting is the generational divide. Parents my age, who didn't grow up with social media, tend to be more cautious about letting their children online.
That's all for today's daily English room conversation practice. Thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this video, like, leave a comment, and hit the subscribe button. See you next time.